You spent over a decade studying and working overseas before moving back to Shenzhen. What was pulling you back? And what was it like to come home after being away for so long?
So I left, I was raised in Shandong province, which is I'm from Qingdao.
Yeah.
And then when I was 17 years old, I went to New Zealand for about 10 years. And then at that time, I find the life is the same on a daily basis, and then decided to come back.
Yeah.
Shenzhen is a young people's hub. I find there's so many cool people, interesting people, and then that's how I choose Shenzhen. And then after about 3 years and working, and then I realized there's something that don't challenge me anymore. And then with all the interesting that happened to me, with all the experience, I decided to start my own company. So now I have two companies. One is a chartered accountant company, which is registered in Shenzhen and Nanshan. Another one is called Careers for You. I'm a co-founder of Careers for You, which is that we look after people's visa, people's registration company, and I also have people looking for job. Basically, Careers for You is a one-stop services for expat come to China. If you do have questions, we do have service to look after you.
When you first returned, did you have any intention to start in a business, or were you thinking about something completely different at that time?
No, actually my background, when I studied, my background is hospitality. And then I was thinking when I come back, I can work in a hotel. So my first offer when I came back to Shenzhen was in Hilton. So I was so excited to want to take the offer. And then I thought that might be something else that I could do. Then I went to looking for two more different jobs, but it's still the hotel. Then I decided to stay in the hospitality industry. But then after that, I realized there's a difference in the hotel in China. Then I thought, now is the time I start thinking about to do something else. But I couldn't find a job that really liked it. So I started a business on my own.
Okay. That is very typical, like a business story. Yeah, I couldn't find a job I like, so I started my own.
Yeah.
Good. Walk me through that visa application experience. What actually happened, and what was it specifically, the process, the attitude, and the system that stayed with you afterward?
Okay, because when I came to Shenzhen, I do have lots of expat friends, and then they have all different kind of visa issues. So then I start helping them, and I realize there is around 10 to 12 different visa types. So most of the people actually living and work in China, they have a work visa. So the process is, firstly, you apply for a work permit, which is to allow you to work in a period of time. Also allow you need to have a residence permit that give you a proper time for you to stay in China on your passport. So those two things combined together become a work visa for you.
Most people have a frustrating experience and just move on. Something made you think, I should be the one to fix this. What was going through your mind at that moment?
So as I mentioned before, I do have a lot of expat friends. But then my personality was kind of like I like to help people. So when I have 20, 30, 50 people come to me with the same problem, and then I realize that might be something that I can become a business with.
Definitely.
So most of the people, they have labor issue, so labor dispute, and also they want to become their own boss. They want to start their own business. So another one is they have a visa issue. That was the main three issues back then, is around 10 years ago when I first came back. So people asked me for help. So I actually hold their hand, step by step go with them. So then I realized then I enjoy this process. Even though at the beginning I didn't actually spend so much time, but I enjoyed talking to them. And then the Shenzhen government, when everywhere you go, they were always friendly, and you always kind of answer for it. I feel like being appreciated. And then I thought, why not? Why not I start this business, become my job. So I love doing it, and I also can help people. And I also, another on top of that, because I couldn't find a job, why not, on top of everything else, let's help people to find jobs so I won't lose a job ever again.
So it happens just naturally.
Yes, was just the perfect. the clientele already there when I was helping people. And then once I told everyone, say, hey, I'm going to start a business, doing what I just helped you. And then I just, like a massive marketing, word of mouth, then there's so many people actually come to me. So for the last 11 years, I've been in this industry. I haven't spent a dime on advertisement.
That's really nice. Also, your background helps.
Yes. Being hospitality, being so...
Also, you worked like overseas for like
Yes. I've been working overseas about 4 years, and most of the time I was working in a hotel as a receptionist, a duty manager. Then in the end, I was a deputy general manager, running a hotel in New Zealand. Then I realized that was such a good experience that really helps me to listen and care what that really happened and what can I do.
Yeah. You started by helping people you already knew. What was that early phase like, and when did you realize this could actually become a real business?
So I actually doing volunteer work about 2 years
before you actually started the real business.
Yes. So when I first got here, I was working in a hotel. So I've been working in a hotel for 2 years, and in any spare time that I have, I normally have people come to me and say, hey Wendy, can I get you a coffee? I need some help. I said, okay, let's catch up. And then we go to a restaurant, sit down, and I heard all about the story that they were facing. It was so devastating. I just really feel like to say, I'm so sorry this has really happened to you. And then there's no one that can solve this problem.
Yeah.
That actually even get worse. And I feel like, what can I do to change this? I don't want them to have no visa and they have to go with tears and left regrets in China. And then they'll say, if they do, if this has happened, they will thought, I'm never going to come back again because this is such a horrible, intense experience for me. So I don't want that to happen. So I start learning that all by myself. I go to all the different government accountants and ask for help. So the beginning, I was a translator, basically just tell them what actually happened.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, I say, okay, I know this problem already. We don't have to go, so I can just tell you and I go through that with you and solve the problem. That's how everything started. And then after I left my second job in one of the biggest hotel in Taoyuan, then I thought, what else I want to do? Do I really want to work in a hotel now? Do I really want to work for night shifts? And I thought, oh, probably not. Not anymore. So let's start something that I really enjoy. And I realized this is a consulting company can really to make something work. And I love and I enjoy and I keep close contact with all my friends. And then I can meet more friends. Actually, what strikes them the most is I understand most of people's culture. Because the hospitality background and when I work in New Zealand, I met so many people from different countries. So I respect their culture. I understand their behaviors. When they say even a joke, I can understand. They're actually really important for them. To understand their sense of humor, understand their how am I gonna say this? Frustration even. So you have a sympathy, and I also be professional is what something they are looking for.
Opening and operating a business in China is someone who helps foreigners navigate the system. How complicated was that process for you yourself, and what surprised you most?
To set up a company, actually, now I understand everything. I will tell everyone, it's so simple, it's so easy. But back then, at the beginning, when you first open a company, you find everything is so stressful. So later on, I will show you a PowerPoint that actually lists of around 8 or 10 different government department involved to open a company. That sounds so much. So how you gonna reduce the stress and what's the process? So at the beginning, I just go to different apartment to learn. I just use my time. I think that's the most efficient way and a meaningful way that you can remember the most. So I did a few times on my own, so I understand the process. And back then, 11 years ago, was so hard because you have to really have to paper, submit all the documents.
Yeah.
But even now in 2026, everything is
It's
so fast.
digitalized.
Yeah. So if you want to open a company, and actually before you prepare all your documents and then you submit to the government and make appointment. So once the day has been confirmed and you take all your documents, it's only take 1 day. On the day you will have your company license.
Yeah.
You the day after you will have your company stamps. So there was sort of something that I really appreciated the Shenzhen government. They actually changed so many rules to make the entrepreneurs or staff,
doing business here much easier.
Make everything easier. And now they provide one-stop services for open companies. So even though there's still around 10 different departments involved, but you only need to go through one channel and everybody come to you instead of like the old way, you're going to them.
Yeah.
So that was perfect.
After serving hundreds of clients over the years, what are the most common things expats actually need help, and does that differ much depending on where they're from or what industry they're in?
Okay, so they're according to the census, it's around 80% of my clients. Actually, they're teachers. Because there are lots of subject teachers and native teachers come to international school or international kindergartens to teach our lovely kids. So most of my clients are that. So they are facing the most problem is labor dispute. Some of the international schools that promise something that they will give or deliver, it never happened. That was the most common thing to happen. Second thing is the work visa. If I want to transfer one company to another, my previous one won't let me go. And a new one was hoping that I can transfer a visa. In the end, everybody got angry and my visa got ran out of time. I have to go. So that was a very stressful time as well. The third one is very common nowadays, is a personal tax declaration. So now it's in March, everyone have to do their tax declaration, not only Chinese citizen, for expat who is working in China holding a work visa, they are obliged to do that. So they are very common questions in this season. People will ask, how am I gonna declare? Why I need to pay extra tax, how I'm gonna explain more tax back. So they are the three main common things that actually happen for the last decades that most people have problem with. And they sounds like a very simple question, but when you really understand and listen to their story, everyone have a different story.
What are the biggest misconceptions foreigners have about living, working, or setting up business in China, the things you find yourself correcting over and over?
The hardest one is when they come over, they think everything is so easy. They're overly confident. When they come here, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm gonna make a lot of money. Everything is so simple, let's do this. But once they go in, they realize, I didn't even know, open a company, I need to have this, and that. And hire a staff is such a hard process to do. And the most difficult things for them to have is the language barrier. But for us now, the Shenzhen have lots of talent use now, and communication probably will have a less problem. And even now we have the tax department, commercial department, financial department, all those government department. Normally every department offer around 5 to 12 different languages services. So it doesn't matter which country you're from. If you do have a question you want to ask them in person, you can ask what language you want the staff to look after you. That was something I think is amazing. So the language barrier now is start getting less and less difficult for the expat come to China. And then another thing is reality to understand the regulation and rules in China. Sometimes they don't know. They open a company. I make a lot of money. I have $1 million in my account. Then it turn to another day. Sorry, you need to pay 25% of company tax. Excuse me, you need to pay 45% of your personal tax. And then you say, what? Lots of things is not being told. Lots of things are hidden. Not even people notice there is a big problem. So even though they are small things, they actually play a big part of their commercial operations.
Yeah.
I think that's quite important.
Yeah, definitely is. One of the reasons clients keep coming back and referring others is the level of trust that they have in you personally. What does it actually take to earn that kind of trust in your line of work?
Okay, first, I think the most important, you have to be very generous and honest. When you're doing this thing, you're not only doing this your work, you also think maybe this client is your family. If you fail or stuff their visa, then that will devastate me. So normally when I take a case, I will straight up to my client. I say, look, I understand your situation. There's maybe 60% of successful rate or 90% of successful rate. I need you to prepare it, and I have to be very, very honest to tell my client what's the real result that might happen. Some of the company, most of them actually will say, oh, we can do it. We are very confident. Let's take the money and let's get on with it. But halfway through, there's lots of hiccups and comes along. Then there will be surprises for our client. Then they will lose trust for the suppliers. However, for me is, I say, excuse me, I'm gonna tell you a lot of bad things might happen, touch wood, but hopefully it's nothing gonna happen, but I need you to prepare. If you are willing to go with me, then we have to do this together, not just me. So there's a lot of communication, extra communication that I don't have to, but I wanted to tell my client. And I also, along the way, I also not only to do what they want me to do, I also sort of like give them seminars and teach them what's the rules, what's the tips, and what's the new policies, and update on my clients, stay in touch with them. Not only that, I try to understand their personality, their families, even though when they have personal issues, they will come to me and say, oh, Wendy, I'm going back for Christmas. Can I give you my company stamp, company bank account, my company license, everything that relates to the company, and my pen? Can I give it to you? If there's anything happen, we need a company stamp. Can you stamp on my behalf? I think there's a very, a general appreciation of my line of work. It's such a high level of trust. Another one that I was most proud of, that around 8 years ago, I have a client from Mercedes. So he working for Denza, and then so he used to working for Mercedes, send him over to Shenzhen to working for Denza. So I look after all his personal stuff, personal tax, and all the bits and pieces related to work. Then after that, he had a green card. He said, oh, Wendy, I'm going to retire. I'm going to enjoy myself. Can I give you my son's contact? Now my son is in university. Can you look after him? Now, after I look after the father, now the son becomes, say, Wendy, I want to start my own company. So after training the father, now I need to train the son how to set up a company. So that was sort of the legacy that I had, and I had such a long-term relationship with my client. Sometimes we do have conflicts. When I'm very tough with some rules, say, I'm sorry to tell you, you have to do my way, even though you don't like this way, but you have to do it. This is the rule. Sometimes the client don't like it. They even got angry, very upset, or very vocal towards me. But then I say, hey, there's no hard feelings. All I do here is I'm your consultant. I have to be responsible for you. Then this thing have to be done. Even though we do have those hated moments, but the relationship actually can last forever, because the trust that they know when I tell them something is true and it's not a trick. So that's the most important things for me.
So I think like a short summary, like one of the key things is like honest communication.
Yes, true.
You mentioned that clients tend to trust you specifically, not just the company. How do you think about that as you try to grow? Is that something you've actively working to change?
I think it's my personality. I'm not gonna expect all my colleagues will do the same things like what I do, because there will be such a far extent. Sometimes really as a corporate client, sometimes it's saying that I'm probably overstepping away. However, I would love all my colleagues being respectful and also being honestly to my clients, and then have the right boundaries or their personality according to all the staff. All their colleagues, they have their own personality, their own approach.
Yeah, that's true.
I think as long as appropriate, I think it's okay.
What's your plan from here? Where do you want to take the business? And is there anything you haven't built yet that you still want to?
For the future for my company, I hope there's lots of Wendy's in
Lots
my
of Wendy's,
companies.
yeah.
Have warm heart and general concerns towards clients. I wish that I have many me that I can help many of expats to come to China. I know there's lots of difficulties along the way, even though for the smallest things, registrations and temporary registration, when they don't feel well, they don't know how to talk to the doctor. There's lots of day-to-day life things expat have problems, not only professionally, and I hope that I can really help them. That actually really accomplished me. There's one part that my company haven't been doing that I really want to do in the future is if I could have a platform that not only in Shenzhen that I can help people hands-on, also nationally people might have the same problem that I can use a platform to help more people. Most of the people have the same question if I can have a database of how to live China or like a guideline or something that I can share with everyone. Very detailed one, so you will have more confidence when you come to a foreign country.
Yeah.
Especially in China, have so many people and who tells what is the right thing to hear. So that's the thing I want to do.
It's definitely can be very confusing to navigate, especially when you freshly arrived in China. In Shenzhen, it's so big, and also like the business environment is completely different from the West.
Yes, definitely the culture is different. For example, just as you said, just arrive in China. The minute you arrive in China, you will have a problem. How are you gonna get a SIM? And then how are you gonna use Didi? And then because there's no Grab in Shenzhen, so there's lots of things that actually feel like hold you back. So I want to really have a guideline on firstly to live a life easily, how to use WeChat, how to use Alipay, can my overseas credit card to link so I can do payment, where I can get some English services like information centers, all those things that I think is very important for expat first to come to China. I really want people come over, don't feel frustrated. And I want them to have a good feeling and say everything's great, WeChat's banned, I can scan and pay, it's so easy, the food is delicious. I would like to hear more positive feedbacks. But those small things are really frustrate people. So
it is. I can completely understand that. Also, that's why like I study here in Shenzhen, this platform. I hope to help in as many people as possible, especially those who want to, looking for business opportunity here in Shenzhen with the supply chain and everything. Thank you, Wendy, for today.
No problem.